Hello and welcome to Jedi Mantis Tastes. And today, as evident by the poll, if you include the Twitter results, the winner being the Glenmorangie Lasanta. Glenmorangie's distillery was established in 1843 and it lies by the shores of the Dornoch Firth and next to the golden barley fields in Ross-shire in the Highlands, as you can see on the map whereabouts it lies. First thing to note in Glenmorangie, and it's not exclusive to the Lasanta, but any Glenmorangie is, and if you can see it here, I don't know if you can, but the logo will be up here. The logo of the Glenmorangie, heavily inspired by the Cadball stone, which is an ancient treasure that dates to around the 3rd century. And it was carved by the Picts, which is the name given by the Romans to the people living in the northeast of Scotland, and it means painted people because the Picts, they decorated their bodies with inks and pigments. They carved the Cadball stone, and Glenmorangie adopted that design as their logo. Glenmorangie also boasts its own water source, the Tarlogie Springs, and they are the result of rainwater forcing their way through layer upon layer of limestone and sandstone, giving the water a hard water quality, and that's quite unique to in the Highland distilleries, so it sets it apart from other Highland whiskies. The whiskies themselves in Glenmorangie are crafted by a group of men, a select group of craftsmen who are entrusted with the secrets of the distillery, and they are known as the Men of Tain, and it's their dedication, skill, attention to detail that shows that the story of Glenmorangie isn't just about the whiskey, but it's also about the people. The Men of Tain would receive a daily dram of whiskey to go with their lunch. They'd huddle together, they'd pass around a metal cup, stays blackened with age, tradition. They'd have a laugh, usually at the expense of one of the lads, and that's sort of like a tradition that they've carried through to today. Another thing they would do was an extra dram of whiskey would be allotted to those who had the unpopular jobs at the distillery, such as washing the sort of like the different unsanitary things. Inside the distillery at Glenmorangie, they boast the tallest stills in Scotland. They're 8 metres high, with the copper necks standing at 5.14 metres high. That's about the height of an average fully grown giraffe. So quite tall, and why that's important is that means that only the very lightest and the purest of the vapours reach the top of the still, which gives the resulting whiskey a smoother, more elegant finish and taste. There's much more for you to find out yourself on Glenmorangie's website. That will be up here, and there's videos there, there's distillery tours. So the usual sort of different varieties of tours are there, so that you can go visit the distillery, have a sample of the whiskies, and to be honest, in that part of the world, just enjoy a nice day out. So they have all that on there. There's a little bit more information about other things like the extra maturations, the different finishes they do. There's the full range of the core range, the limited editions, the extra special ones that they've done throughout the years. You can go on there, find a little bit more out about them. But we're focusing on Lasanta. And Lasanta is part of the core range from Glenmorangie. So I believe that means it's always in production, along with the standards, sort of like the standard whiskies of various ages. But the Lasanta is Gaelic for warmth and passion, and that's just paying homage to the Spanish casks that they finish the whiskey off in for the extra maturation period. So it's aged for 10 years in American white oak ex-bourbon casks, and that is before it's being extra matured for a final 2 years in Oloroso and PX or Pedro Ximénez sherry butts from Spain. It is a 43% finish, and it is available on the whiskeyexchange.com up here for $47.75 for the 70 centilitre bottle. Or you can get a 3 centilitre sample bottle for £5.55. So if you just want to sample it to see what you like, it's a fair amount to just go in for a punt, like I did, like an idiot. So that's where you can buy it from. There will be others as well. I'll link them down below. Usually going to be things like your Masters of Malt. I actually bought this in Morrison's supermarket, so you can also get it there. Moving on to the whiskey, let's crack this bottle open. So it's a well put together box. It's not just a simple box. You've got folds here where you can see it's been doubled over. There's a little flap in here. Had great pleasure in watching the person on the checkout trying to put the bottle back in here. I thought he was going to either pop a lung or bust a nut or something. He was really struggling. It's not hard. You just pop that in there and pop that over. He really struggled. Was slightly amusing, but I felt sorry for him as well because there was a queue of people. So here's the bottle, and as you can see, quite a nice shaped bottle, very slimline, slight taper. Looks dignified. I've said that a few times about various different whiskies, but it does look dignified. It's not. There's a bit more to it than you would get in a normal glass bottle. You've got the foil seal on the top. The top reads the Glenmorangie Distillery, established 1843, sherry cask finish Lasanta, perfected by the 16 men of Tane. Full-bodied single malt, initially matured in bourbon casks, then extra matured or finished in Oloroso and PX sherry casks for a richer taste. So let's open this up. I've started to pre-open just a few millimeters this because it can be tricky if you don't. It doesn't always open as you want. So it's only the very top of that's foil. The rest it's just flimsy plastic, really. So it looks screw cap, but we've got that cork. Not much pop there. Very tiny little pop. Oh, that smells nice. That smells really nice. We've got our Glencairn glass, and let's get a little bit of this in here. I'm looking forward to this after that little whiff there. So we'll get different light to normal in on the other side today. So you can see here, I'm going to move over a little bit. It's quite a nice warm colour to the whiskey there. I'm going to go back to the other light, I prefer that one. So yes, quite a warm copper golden colour. Looks quite thick. It's leaving sort of like a a nice sheeny residue up the glass when you swirl it. So we'll add a little drop, and being only 43%, we don't need a lot. That'll do. Have a swirl around. Dive in. That smells so nice. That is a really nice smell. Very warm smelling. There's fruit in there. That'll be coming from the sherry cask. Maybe a sweet smell of maybe toffee. Very complex, there's a lot of spice in there as well. Sort of chocolatey sort of smells in there. It smells enticing. You smell that, it doesn't smell like a typical whiskey. There's a lot about that. Let's have a try. Oh my. That is nice. Got the spices there. They mentioned on the bottle full-bodied. I would agree with that. It's got a hint of Werther's original, like a butterscotch type of taste to it. Still a lot of spice in there. It's quite heavy on the spices. It's sweet. Coming from the sherry. Got that fruit in there. Maybe a bit sharper fruit, something like an orange, a lemon, citrusy. But the main thing coming through is that spice and the sherry. They are very heavily influencing the flavours. There's a lot of flavours in there, all hidden away. Breaking through the different ones, you can get to the fruit, you get to the, say, like a butterscotch almost. Maybe a bit of nut in there as well. And the finish, it's quite a long finish, still got that in my mouth now. Orange coming through. I just mentioned the orange, the sharper orange flavour. But with that spices, it's like a spiced orange. It's not an unpleasant lingering, it's a very nice flavour left in the mouth. That's delightful. I'm going to try some without the water. This is purely just so I get 2 drinks a day. It is nice to try it without and with. Texture evidently different. A lot more syrupy. It's very spicy. It's nice, but it's almost too spicy for me. It's smooth. It's not burning, but it's spicy. There's many layers, even just in the mouth. You've got right at the top of the mouth, along the roof of the mouth, there's one flavour. Then into the cavity of the mouth, you've got another flavour, and then along the tongue, you've got another flavour. It's very levelled. Now that's starting to burn as I leave it. The finish along the edges of the tongue, just on the sides of the tongue, just a little bit of burn there. Not unpleasant. There's something hidden in there. It's hard to pick that out, because as I say, you've got those 3 levels of flavour, and it's somewhere between the tongue and the cavity. There's a flavour hidden, and I'm not sure I like that flavour. Overall, it's nice, but there's something in there that I'm not too keen on. It's not going to stop me finishing the bottle at some point. I'm not going to rush through it. It's expensive. But the more that settles in my mouth, that first instant is, wow, that's amazing. But there's something in there that's just playing on my mind. I'm going to have another little drop with water. I'm maybe going to put a little bit more water in to try and just loosen it up a little bit. Don't want the ice in. Oh, we got a little bit of ice in, never mind. So we've got probably too much water for what you need for tasting, but I'm trying to loosen it up. It's definitely in there. It's something that's not really desirable by me. I've had a lot of sherry cask finish whiskies, and this is very different to any of the others I've tried. It's hard to pick out what it is. There's something in there I'm not keen on. But everything else is nice, so it's a difficult one for me to judge that. I like it, but I don't like it. There's more likes than dislikes. There's one thing in there that I don't like, and I can't really put a finger on it and isolate it. So it's difficult. It's an odd one, that. It's a nice whiskey, but for me there's something in there that I'm not over keen on. I will still drink it. So yeah, that one I would recommend going for that 555 sample bottle first, because if you taste anything like mine, there's something in there that you might not be keen on. But that's where we'll end it. That was Glenmorangie Sherry Cask Finish Lasanta, Gaelic for warmth and passion. Mixed feelings on that one. Mixed feelings. A fine whiskey, but possibly not for me. But that's that. So thank you for watching. Next week there is a vote up here, I believe it will be. Just trying to remember my directions. I think it's up here. Vote. There'll be only 2 options this week. It's going to be the other 2 that were on there: the Tamnavulin, the Jura. Get those votes in over the next week, and I will taste the winner next week. That's pretty much it for me. If you hit the little circle icon here, then you will be able to subscribe to my channel. Check out this video here for a gaming video, and check out this video here for one of my previous whiskey videos, and I will see you next week. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care and drink responsibly. Bye.